Hey guys, this is LS11 Soldier. This is a Twitch stream and also a YouTube video. And today we are going to be discussing the new hero, Loki, for Godforge. So yeah, we're going to have a quick flick through, well, not a quick flick, quite an in-depth flick hopefully, through Loki, his skills, what his awakenings do, etc, etc. And then obviously I will be recording this VOD so that I can then make it into a YouTube video afterwards. Okay, so let's get started, and here we go. So as you can see, Loki is looking absolutely amazing. The artwork is unbelievable. It looks fantastic. Loki is a legendary. His nickname is the Master of Mischief, and he's doing a lot of dancing around at the moment and a lot of zooming in. So here we go. First of all, let's stop that there. And so Loki is a disruptor. So manipulation of the balance of power in battle is a principal role of disruptors. They focus on applying powerful disables and debuffs on your foes whilst manipulating turn order and divinity powers. When pure power fails, the disruptor will be lurking in the shadows to control the battle in their favour. So that says to me a disruptor is basically someone who, if you're in a fight and you can't just smash a guy and that's it, game over, you need someone to take control of the fight. And yeah, that basically that's what a disruptor is. So yeah, so in a minute we'll move on to the next one. So here we go on to Loki's abilities. So the first one is deceptive daggers. So attack an enemy 200% of your attack and 2200% of your accuracy. Now that doesn't seem right to me, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Obviously we'll have to wait and see if I get any reactions to this video from the dev team saying yeah, that's right. So as I said, attack the enemy with 200% attack and 2200% accuracy with a 75% chance to place charm on a target for one turn. So charm takes the next attack for the enemy that placed this debuff. Durations reduced when triggered. So next skill is Burning Hatred, which is Loki's core skill. And that has a 75% chance to place taunts on all enemies for one turn. Also has a 75% chance to place Ether Burn for 2 turns on enemies not under disable. This cannot be resisted. So let's hopefully... Here we go. So Taunt attacks the unit that places disable with its basic ability. That's obvious. Aether Burn. This is what I wanted to see. So Aether Burn increases the chance to weak it by 10% and reduces divinity by 6% on all heroes on the team. So if you place Aether Burn on... oh no, it's all enemies. Yeah, but if you only place it on one of them, if you attack all but it only lands on one, it increases the chance of the whole team weak hitting by 10% and reduces divinity by 6% of all heroes on the team. I think I'm reading that wrong. I think it increases the chance of a weak hit by 10% on the character that has Aether Burn and reduces divinity by 6% on all characters on the team. So if you place Aether Burn and it lands on all, say, 5 characters in a fight, does that stack? Or is it just 6% across the board as long as it hits one of them? Or is it 6% for every one it hits? That's Because obviously if you can get 6%, reduce 6%, and you hit all 5 of them, that's 30%. So obviously, once again, something we'll have to wait and see in the future, and go from there. So let's carry on with the video. So the next one is his ultimate, and his ultimate is attacks all enemies with an 80% chance to place confuse, which I'm assuming is some sort of CC, yeah, on each target for 1 turn. If the target is already under a disable, so like taunt, I'm assuming, or something like that, steal 10% of each target's divinity. Gain 10 divinity when an enemy attacks an ally. Gain 20 divinity when an enemy attacks their allies. So, I'm assuming confuse, well, we'll see. But for my thoughts, confuse is basically going to be, oh, well, let's see. Let's see. So here we go. This is what confuses. So the unit attacks a random ally with its basic ability on its turn, doing 75% reduced damage. So if the enemies get confused on them, then they will then attack a random ally, and then if they attack a random ally, you will gain 20% divinity. I think that's what it means. But the attacks that they do, the basic attacks that they do, will only be 75% reduced damage. So you can't really use him in PvP, where you put confuse on all the enemies and they all just attack each other and wipe them out, because, yeah, that'd be silly. What's that say? If the target is already under a disable, steal 10% of the target's divinity. So if you've already got taunt on an enemy, then you put the confuse on, you will steal 10% of that target's divinity instead. I don't know. I'm confused with that, but I still seen it again. The 350% attack and 3000% accuracy. So if this is a character that requires the accuracy to place these debuffs, if those figures are right, then it's quite good, because, yeah, so he's going to do attack and he's going to do an accuracy. You need the accuracy to do the damage. So you need the attack to do the damage, but you also need accuracy to place the debuffs. So using the system that they're using, where they're giving you 350% attack and 3000% of the accuracy, gives you the chance then to build your character with mediocre attack, mediocre accuracy, instead of all into one or all into the other, and still get decent. So we'll carry on playing the video, guys, and we'll go from there. So here's his passive. So let's just pause that. So enemies under a charm, which is from his A1 obviously, that attack this hero have a 50% chance to instead attack one of their allies at random. So on the A1, as you saw, when you place the charm on the enemy, if that enemy then attacks Loki, there's a 50% chance that instead of attacking Loki, it'll actually pass on to one of its own enemies. Now, what it doesn't say there is that a reduced 70%, 75%. So you'll probably find that that might work in PvP. I don't know. We'd have to wait and see. But because there's note there that says it's reduced damage, like in the other ones that we saw. So yeah, let's have a look now. Obviously at Loki's awakening. So just go back a bit there. I missed a bit. Right. So Sorry guys. Right, so the first one is Ether Burn 2. Also cannot be blocked or removed, which is quite good. Initiative 15 on Awakening 2. So, pause that. So, it has a 50% chance to reduce damage from enemies under taunt by 100%. Now, that, for me, is awesome. Because that taunt is also an AoE taunt. If you taunt the whole team, and they start attacking, half the time, they're not actually going to do damage to the enemy that they're attacking, i.e. Loki. Which is quite good. I like that. Initial Divinity 150. That's fair enough. So, passive. Awakening 5. If fatal damage is inflicted on this hero, so on Loki, prevent it, grant full divinity and an extra turn. So if you put a taunt on all the enemies, and that enemy then, or those enemies then beat you down until the last one does critical damage, well, fatal damage, sorry, then the fatal damage will be ignored and it will grant you full divinity and an extra turn. Now, I can see how that would work in a boss fight, because if you've got a boss that you can place taunt on and that boss then one hits you, that's great. You still keep your full health that you was on before he attacked. You get your divinity up to full and you get an extra turn. Now, if you're fighting something, say for example in terms of Raid Spider, where those little spiders are niggling away at you, that won't be that great, because obviously then when the fatal damage is that last hit. So if you've got 1% health and that last hit takes that 1% health off you, then it's only going to stop the 1% of the damage, not all the other damage that's come before it. So I think that is good for a for a boss fight where the boss can be taunted, but not so great for an ad fight, if you get what I mean. But yeah, that's... So yeah, like I said, that looks pretty cool. So guys, let's go now take a look at some of the footage for Loki and see him doing some of his attacks. Now, obviously this is going to be his A1 or his skill 1, first skill, yeah, which does a pretty big hit. That's fair play for a CC champ, and a support champ still hits pretty hard, which like we thought it would. There's a strong hit. And as you can see down at the bottom left hand corner, every time he kills someone, his ether is building and building and building for his divinity, sorry, ready for his ultimate. And now he's going to use his core skill now, I think. Oh no, he's just used his core skill. So it's, yeah, and now he finishes off. And he's just trying to get his divinity up again so that he can use his ultimate. And there you go, he's got it. So here's his ultimate. Oh, it looks like they haven't finished the VFX yet, which is fair enough. The amount of work they put into this every day, obviously they're not going to get everything done in 10 minutes. And then here we go. So these is that's better. So now you can see his A2 or his core skill as it's called, and it's put the ether burn on, it's put the taunt on, and as you can see their divinity's dropping, I believe. Yeah. And then he goes in with his A1. So for a support champ, like I say, he's pretty strong. I do like how much damage he's doing. And then obviously you can change the speed, you can change the camera angle. You can look at what the abilities do by hovering over them, or maybe right clicking. I'm assuming it's hovering over. Oh, you can look at the footage without all the stuff on. So that's quite good if you're getting on an auto fight and you don't want to see everything that's going on around the screen and the buttons. You can just put it on auto fight, click that, and then bang, you're gone. So what we're going to do is, I think, is we're going to leave it there for today. I hope this has give you some idea of what the character Loki can do, and maybe you've seen something in the video that you think, oh no, Soldier hasn't spotted that. Please do comment below and let me know. Devs, if you could comment if you get a chance on the accuracy issue, that would be really great to find out if that is correct or not. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe. I do want to bring a lot more Godforge content to you in the future with the alpha waves and that sort of thing. So obviously subscription means that you won't miss any of my videos. So have a good day, everyone. Peace out.